What is up, YouTube? My name is Trinity and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. I've tried to record this video 3 different times already and I finally figured out all of the stupid issues I've been having, so here I am with a new video. A lot has happened since I last uploaded. Namely, about an hour ago we reached 100 subscribers, which I am so excited about. I wish the last take of this video had gone smoother, just because you see my actual legit reaction to getting 100 subscribers, and I just want to say thank you so much. Over the last couple of days, actually, there have been a lot of new people coming to the channel, and over this last week is when I gained a majority of these last few subscribers to 100. For whatever reason, my video from about 7 or 8 months ago on the Palmyra wolf pack is the one that's really blowing up right now, and I don't want to question it. I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth. I just want to say thank you and welcome to my channel if you're new, and thank you so much for getting this channel to 100. So this is kind of a re-upload of an older video that I had on my channel for a while. I either privated it or deleted it just because in the beginning I had a bit where I had a smudge stick of white sage and I kind of burned some of it and I waved it around to purify my surroundings before talking about some scary stuff. And looking back, it just wasn't very cool of me to do that. I am indigenous. I am Ganigeha or Mohawk. That's my nation. And as I've gotten older, I have become a lot more invested in my indigenous culture, and I know how sacred that white sage and plants like that are to not only our nation but other indigenous nations, so it felt kind of icky looking back, seeing myself just kind of used it as a prop or a toy. So that's why I deleted it, but I did like the video and a lot of people did seem to like it as well, so this is a re-upload. This is a video that's going to be talking about my personal paranormal experiences, or at least things that I can't explain that could be considered paranormal. As many of you know, I am very logical. I don't know if I really believe in any paranormal stuff. A lot of stuff I always try to rationalize when talking about it on here. Talking about what it could be or what it most likely is, or the phenomenons that could lead someone to believe that it's something that it's not. But these are experiences in my own personal life that I cannot explain away. So this first story is about a creepy little doll that my younger sister got for Christmas one year. At the time, me, my nana, my great-grandmother, dad, my stepmom, and my 2 other sisters were living with us at the time, and it was a lot of people in a 3-bedroom house. We were all together on Christmas, all opening gifts, and my younger sister gets this 3-foot doll. And it's not like an old creepy doll or anything, not Annabelle-like or anything like that. It's just something cheap that you could get from probably the dollar store. But me and my older sister still did not like it. We are horror movie junkies. So, you know, we'd seen Chucky, we'd seen Annabelle, and all the other stuff, and it was just uncomfortable. And being the little shithead that my little sister was, she, of course, used that doll to scare us whenever she could. She loved doing that kind of stuff. She loves doing that kind of stuff. Anything that could freak us out, she would always take advantage of. They shared a room. I shared a room with our great-grandmother, but my older sister made it a rule that the doll went into the closet at night because she didn't want to see it staring at her when she woke up or when she got up to go to the bathroom or something. So obviously it made us uncomfortable, even though thought we knew that there was nothing weird about it. But one day my little sister was going with my stepmom to the grocery store or something, and she comes into my room where me and my older sister are sitting on our bed, and she said, "Here, I want you to watch my doll for me." And we just kind of say, yeah, whatever. She leaves and we throw the doll on the floor in between my bed and the wall. And we just leave it there. It's out of the way. We're not thinking about it. And we like the thought of our younger sister being pissed off when she finds out we just threw her doll on the floor. So we go leave the room to go do something, and we hear Grandma calling us, and we come into the room again, and the doll's in the middle of the floor. And my grandmother kind of doesn't yell at us, but she's like, "Guys, don't leave your stuff on the floor. I just tripped over this thing." And we're like, "Grandma, that's not ours, and we left it way over there. It must have moved." And we are looking at each other and we were freaking out like, what the hell? Like, how did this get over here? Because there was nobody else in the house that would have bothered to move the doll, especially to the middle of the floor. And my grandma, she was just like, yeah, whatever, just make sure to pick up your stuff so I don't trip over it. And that was essentially the end of it. Nothing else really creepy happened, at least that I know of, with that doll. But, you know, it's still a weird experience. Like, there was nobody else in the house that would have moved it, so how did it get there, you know? So the second story is about a series of dreams that me and my family had all in one night, which doesn't sound that paranormal until you kind of get into it. So it was probably 1.5 years after my grandmother died, and we were still, you know, kind of getting over it, but adjusting to life. Sorry, Strawberry's like spazzing out. So we were still getting over it, but adjusting to life without her. There had been nothing in the last couple of days that made her directly front and center in our minds, so it's really weird that all of this happened to us in one night. But essentially, I had a dream. It was a pretty normal dream about, like, all of us being at my grandmother's house, like all of my cousins, all of my uncles, my nana, everybody with my grandma at my aunt's house watching a movie. And I was just walking from my aunt's kitchen with a bowl of popcorn, and I sat next to grandma, and we all, you know, had a normal night. That was the entire dream. Now, a little explanation. My grandmother was like the glue of our family. She kept us together. She was very big on family. We're all together. We all help each other, and always wanted us all together and to get along. And since she had passed, we'd kind of drifted apart to a degree. We had never been the same since she passed. So with that in mind, like, it was a very nice dream to have, like, my entire family back together again, all around my grandmother, who I really miss still. So I wake up and I tell my nana about the dream, just because, you know, it's a nice dream. And she was like, your grandma must have been making the rounds last night. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she was like, I had a dream about her last night, your uncle did, I think 2 of my younger cousins did, and my aunt did. And like 1 or 2 people, like, it's a coincidence, but nothing out of the ordinary. But 5 or 6 people having very similar dreams all in the same night, I don't know, it's just kind of weird to me, especially because one of my little cousins was really a baby when she passed. Like, he did get to meet her, and he saw her, and he played with her and everything, like, pretty often, but I didn't think he was old enough to remember her, at least well enough to have dreams about her where he could, like, fully identify her. So that's kind of the thing that solidified that something was a little different about these dreams. That, and of course, again, having them all on the same night. So this next story took place on some holiday, either Easter or Thanksgiving or something, because we had a bunch of relatives coming over. I lived in my old house with my nana and my uncle. My uncle lived upstairs in his own apartment, and then me and my nana and her roommate lived downstairs in an identical apartment. They were supposed to be split, but then, you know, we're family, we go visit each other whenever. And I was in the bathroom, like, getting my hair ready, putting on makeup and stuff like that, and just getting ready for the day, because, you know, it's going to be a big fancy dinner. And my nana knocks on the bathroom door, and she comes in and she says, hey, just listen for the front door, we're expecting a bunch of relatives to come over anytime now, so just listen for the door because we're not going to be able to hear it upstairs. So I'm like, okay, whatever. She goes upstairs, and I continue doing whatever I'm doing. So I hear what sounds like, of course, somebody knocking on the front door. And I go and check, and nobody's there. Nobody's on the street, nobody's in our yard, nobody's anywhere. And this is before the story about the neighbors from hell, so I don't think we had our security cameras at this point. I think, okay, maybe Nana or Uncle Kenny let them in already. I call upstairs asking if anyone's here yet. They said no. I asked them if they heard anyone knocking at the door. They said no. I go back to the bathroom, continue doing whatever I was doing, and then I get a knock at the bathroom door. And I'm like, 1 second, and I'm gathering up my makeup or my brushes or whatever I was doing in there, thinking that it was probably either my nana having to do something in the bathroom or her roommate needing to take a shower or something for work. I didn't hear any footsteps approaching the bathroom or leaving the bathroom, which was kind of weird just because everybody in that house was very heavy-footed. You could tell where everyone was in the house at all times, but I figured maybe it was just standing out there or I was too busy to recognize that anyone was there. But I go out there, nobody's there. But I was basically finished at this point. I put away whatever I was doing and I go upstairs to sit with my uncle and my nana. Nobody's there yet. No relatives had arrived, and I don't see her roommate. So I asked her, like, did you come downstairs to use the bathroom for some reason, even though my uncle had a bathroom up there? She was like, no, we've been up here, nobody's been down there. And I was like, okay, where's your roommate? And she was like, I don't even know if he's home. He might have gone to visit someone before work. And I tell them, like, I heard 2 different knocks, one on the front door and one on the bathroom door, and nobody was there either time. And I think I made a joke about, like, the house being haunted or something, and my Uncle Kenny's like, oh yeah, it's haunted all right, like, there's a ghost here. They live up here in my apartment. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, the ghost of my mom, like, she comes around, she opens and closes her bedroom door, and she, like, takes stuff off the walls, and, you know, lists out a couple other things. And I was like, oh, great to know, great to know. Like, being sarcastic, but I could never really figure out what had happened that day because, again, nobody else was in the house to be knocking. And I don't think, like, no offense to my nana or my uncle, but they're old. They're not going to come downstairs just to, you know, pull a prank by knocking on the doors to freak me out or something, you know? So I could never really figure out what happened there either. This last story, however, I don't like that I'm alone in this house right now telling this story, and that I've had to tell it 2 other times alone in this house. It still gives me the chills to this day just thinking about it, so I'm gonna try to get through it. So a little context, the senior year of high school, my best friend Kiowa lived with me. She lived in the basement of the house I was just talking about. We have a nice little finished basement down there. It's actually pretty big. And she stayed down there. And she was telling me one day, like, there was something in my room last night and I was really freaked out. I guess she was dozing off on the phone with her boyfriend at the time, and she saw, like, a shadow figure down there. And being the dickhead that I am, I made fun of her for it. When she would go down there to bed, I was like, oh, don't let the shadow demon take you, or if you want to sleep up here so your demon doesn't take you, like, that's fine. And I'd always mess with her about it, and she wasn't very happy because whatever happened really did freak her out. So I was just kind of an asshole. But after she moved, what the hell are you doing? I'm watching Strawberry right now, and instead of going into her house, she's burrowing under it and just wearing it on her back. You do you, girl. But when she moves out, I move down there just because it's bigger than my previous room, and I'm down there for months, if not a year, before this happens, with nothing really happening. Like I said in the previous story, like, the house, you could hear where everybody was at all times, and sometimes when I was gaming down there, I'd be screaming either at my friends, or it was a horror game and I'd scream or something like that. And my nana would call me to make sure I was okay, even though I told her, like, I promise I'm not getting murdered. I'm just really pissed at a game or something. You are really loud today. So one night, like, I wake up in the middle of the night, and it's pitch black in my room, and I'm just laying there, like, kind of trying to go back to sleep. And my eyes are adjusting to the dark, and I see this shape across my room. And I was like, oh, that must just be my desk chair with some laundry on it or something, because if I was too lazy to do the laundry, it would go right on my desk chair until I had to clean it off to actually use my desk chair. But I kept looking at it, and I didn't ever get a scared feeling before what happened next. I was just like, that's really weird. I don't remember my desk chair being that close. And I keep looking, and I'm trying to figure it out. And as my eyes adjust, it's starting to become, like, more of the shape of a person, but I'm not letting myself go there. I'm just like, it's my desk chair, or it's another chair that I forgot I brought down, or something. It is not anything weird. Imagine, like, you have a photo on your phone, go like this, and it zoom in on the picture. That's what it looked like, legitimately. That's what it looked like. It just zoomed at my face suddenly, and I screamed out loud. And it takes a lot to get me to scream. When I'm screaming at my video games or something, it's more like to be dramatic with friends. Like, I'm sure, like, it's a legit scream, but I was fearing for my life that night. I screamed, I took the blanket, I turned over really quick, and I covered myself with it. And I just waited there, and I'm not going anywhere. Fuck that. But I am hoping that my nana heard me, or one of my uncles, and they'd come down and rescue me from whatever was there. They never came, and eventually I fell asleep while waiting for them to come rescue me. And then I go upstairs the next morning and I'm stomping. I'm so fucking angry and betrayed. And I go to my nana and I'm like, where were you last night? Like, didn't you hear me scream? Like, there was something in my room and I screamed and it jumped at me and blah, blah. And she was like, Trin, what are you talking about? I heard nothing last night. And I was pissed the entire day, and I yelled at my other uncles, like, not fully yelled at them, but I was upset, because what if something had actually happened to me and they just left me down there to fend for myself, you know? So I'm hoping this video is not cursed, and this time I actually can start editing and get it up for you guys, because again, I recorded this 3 times, and none of the times have gone right. So let's hope that it actually works this time. So I can start working on it right now. But thank you guys so much again for getting me to 100 subscribers. Thank you for liking my videos and commenting, and leave down below if you have any of your own paranormal experiences or experiences that you just can't understand. You don't think they're paranormal, but you don't know. You know, I love those stories, especially when they're firsthand from the person it happened to. Thank you so much again for watching, and really guys, I appreciate you so much, and I can't wait to see where this channel goes from here, because this is a milestone I wasn't fully convinced I would ever reach, just because it did take so long, and I'm not as consistent as I should be with this channel, but I do want to see where this channel goes, and I'm very excited that we've hit this milestone. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.